Every time the Winter Olympics comes around, honestly, the only sport that I actually really watch is the figure skating because it's so incredible. Like they're literally dancing on ice, essentially, and the outfits, like the girl dancers are so, oh man, their outfits are so beautiful. Like the sequins and the sparkles, and like it's the colors are so vibrant. Like anything they wear, even if it's like white, because it like shimmers so much, it's like bejeweled, and it shows against like the white ice rink. Like something about that is just so like visually enticing to me that I'm always like set for the ice skating like competitions. And so reading this book, The Favorites by Lane Fargo, really was kind of like a peek behind the curtain on like how much they have to do to like get to that point of like competing in the Olympic Games and like being broadcasted live like on TV. And this book was written so well because it kept me so captivated and like engaged. I was engrossed. Like it took over me. Like like I couldn't do anything else but read. Like I sat right there in my bed and just read this book for like 6 hours almost straight, just like reading this whole thing. And like that's how I know that a book has got me down bad, and that's how I know like the author has done an incredible job where it feels so real. Like when I'm like reading a book and I'm like, wow, this would be like such a good movie. Like when it starts to like really become a film in my head, like the words become a movie, that's how I know like this book is so well done. And I know like that takes two parts. Like obviously as a reader you have to be able to like imagine that, because some people don't, like when they read they don't have like a movie playing in their head, and I find that so weird, like because that always happens to me, and I think that's why some people don't enjoy reading, because like I don't know, like when you read and it becomes a movie in your head, it like takes the experience from like here to here. Like, does that make sense? I don't know if other people have that experience, but like I do. And so like you have to be able to have that skill, but also like the author has to be able to write it in a way where it feels like it's easy for you to like come up with the mental images like for your imagination to like use the words and like translate it into like an actual like movie. You know what I mean? I really like the way that it was done. This book, it's kind of like a documentary. So the main character is Katarina Shaw. She's like the main character, and then Heath Roca is like her partner, and they're both like a couples ice skater. I don't know the correct term. Like they're both figure skater dancers, and okay, I don't know why I'm trying to sound smart. They're ice skaters, and they are like, it's like doubles, like they do it together. And Kat is like the main character. Like this book follows her, like it's her story, and even like in the prologue she's like, this is my story, like I'm telling it how it really happened. And she's telling like her story, and then the other timeline is like the documentary that they're making. So essentially like Kat and Heath, like this whole story is basically how they ended up at the Olympic Games, and like this huge drama happened at the Olympic Games, and the world was left wondering like, wow, what really happened that night, because it was so messy and like publicized. And so that's what the documentary is like building up to. And then Kat's actual like chapters are like starts with her journey of like ice skating and everything that she went through to end up at that Olympic Games. I really liked Kat because she was such a good main character. Like the book starts with her being like 16 years old, and her and Heath, like they're going to nationals for the first time, and right away like you can tell like she's so ambitious and determined. Like she knows what she wants. She's willing to do like almost whatever. Like it's all about like hard work, but it's like more than that, especially when you want to be like the best in something. It's more than just like hard work and determination. And she even like says that like there's so much like politicking like behind the scenes. You have to like kind of like, it's not all just about like what you know, it's about who you know. And so Kat, it's kind of like her journey, and her and Heath, like they went through so much, like especially Kat, because I just like, she's the main character and I liked her more than Heath. And she was like, she went through so many obstacles. Like first she goes to nationals. That's where she meets like the Lin twins, and they are like the kids of Sheila Lin, which is Kat's like her idol. Like she looked up to her. Like she's literally the reason that she went into like ice skating. And like this is like the reason, like she is like an example among so many of why you should never meet your heroes, because I literally believe Sheila, like most of the problems Kat went through is because of Sheila. Like she orchestrated it so that things would happen like badly for Kat, and I'll get into that. So Kat is at nationals and she meets the Lin twins. Like they literally bump into each other, her and Bella, and because of that she gets injured, so she doesn't skate as well as she normally could have, and so they don't end up placing anything. But Sheila Lin is also there, and she sees you know, the ambition in Kat. And so she tells her, like, come to my academy and train over the summer. So she and Heath go, and her and Heath, they have like a very, like, their relationship was low-key toxic and messy and so much drama, and I loved it. Like, I literally get so invested in like fictional relationships, but I'm so glad that I am like that for fictional people, because I see the way some people do that online for like social media couples and like celebrities, and I think it's so weird. Like, you guys who like spend that much time like dissecting, I'm not even talking like making cute edits, like dissecting relationships, like literally just read books. Like, you can do that then. It's only a problem when people get so heated into like the fictional relationships and they like send death threats and stuff if you're not like supporting one couple but you support this other one. Like, that's ugh. So Kat and Heath, like, they have a very different relationship. Like, Heath grew up in like a foster home. He basically has no one, and he, like, Kat is like the first person that was ever like gave him everything he wanted, like a family, like security, like stability, and a family is like so important, especially for people like who've never had that. And so he attaches so hard onto Kat, and like right from the beginning I was able to be like, this is very much giving like victim savior complex relationship, where like the victim, like the person who gets saved by someone else, essentially, like they'll do whatever they can, whatever like the savior wants, so that they'll always be together, because it's like a very like, it's like built on low-key trauma. And so like Heath, like Kat and Heath, like they meet so young, like they're like 6 or 7, and he even like moves in with her family because his actual foster family, they don't care at all about what happens to him. And so he like is so down bad for her, essentially, that he masters an Olympic sport. And okay, like, period. But I would stand, but like their relationship was so like rocky. So then once they go to the academy, they obviously like hone their skills way better. Now they're actually with people with actual skill. Like, they're not just like in an ice rink anymore. They're actually like in an academy where everyone's trying to be like really good ice skaters. And from there, like, they have some drama. Like, it was like typical teenage drama, kind of, where it's like, oh, why are you spending so much time with this other guy? Like, you know, the usual. But it's like kind of heightened because Heath already has like this attachment to Kat, and he's like not as good as a figure skater as her, and Kat knows that, and she's like willing to do whatever to like become a champion. And so she's like given a choice where she's able to partner up with Garrett, which is one of the Lin twins, because he's really good, and she knows, okay, if I end up with him, if we become partners and we dance together, like, I have a chance of actually winning. But with Heath, he's like not up to my level, and he overhears that. And this was so crazy. Like, he literally runs off in a foreign country and they don't see him for 3 years. Like, talk about dramatic. Like, that was crazy. And honestly, for somebody, like, imagine somebody who you've known since you were like 6 or 7, like, you're all you have now. Like, even Kat has like a troublesome like family life, so they're all they have. And so imagine like somebody who's like your only family, really, and they just like up and leave for like 3 years and you don't know what happens to them. Like, I understand why she was so upset. And so like he does that, and then now Kat has like really no choice but to like team up with Garrett, and they do actually like win medals, and they're almost like going to the Olympic Games essentially. And then Heath comes back, and now all of a sudden he's like such a great ice skater. Like, it was like shocking. Like, he becomes like the partner she always wanted in terms of like skills set, you know. And but now he's like teaming up with Bella, which is like the other Lin twin. It's like Garrett and Bella are like the Lin twins, who are the kids of Shelia Lin. And Shelia, like, she literally does this on purpose. Like, she's trying to separate Kat and Heath. Like, I believe that she did that. I mean, to be fair, like, Heath did go to her, and then she sent him over to like Moscow and to like become a good figure skater. But like later on, like, she does so many things that, in my opinion, like, because she wants her legacy to be the one that's like winning goals. Because after that whole drama, which by the way was so delicious, like when Garrett was teamed up with Kat and Bella was teamed up with Heath, like, that drama, oh my god, I was eating it up. Like, it was like pumpkin cheesecake. Like, oh my god, it was so delicious. It was so dramatic, messy, unhinged. Like, it was toxic, but I loved it, because I love when I can like sit back and watch a drama that has absolutely nothing to do with me. But obviously, like, Heath and Kat are like, they're like meant to be. Like, the whole time I was just like, when are they gonna get back together in terms of like becoming a team again, so then they can win? Because it was so obvious like they could do that, and eventually like they do, after like Kat gets into that accident. And like every time somebody's like near death, that's when people like stop playing games, you know. So like which again is like toxic. And also like Kat and Heath's like intimate moments, like that first time, she literally does that to convince him to stay at the academy like for the whole year. So that was also, I was like, okay, wait, this is like not okay. And she also talks about how like she doesn't care that much about like if she hurts him. Like it was very obvious, like they had a power dynamic in their relationship. So I was not a huge fan of like the romance, but it was the drama and it was messy and it was unhinged, so I loved it. So once that all happens, like mind you, this is like years now into their career, and like ice skating is like very much like you only have like a few years to do it, because by the time you're like 28 to like 30, you're considered so old. And you know, in a lot of sports, like that's kind of how it is. And either way, like they're going through so many like obstacles, because now they're finally together, and like in terms of like a teamwork, and they're actually like winning. But then they have even more drama, and now like they started to like, everyone gives them so much like attention because of like how messy it was, like their personal relationship together. And they really play into that like on the ice. Like they do like these very sensual like type of like ice skating, which ice skating in itself is like very like low-key romantic. Like, you know, it's like basically two people dancing together, and like there's so much trust and stuff involved. So it's like not surprising to me that like most figure skater like couple teams are like together. Like it kind of makes sense. And either way, like they play into that a lot, because the way they've been doing things, like it's not enough. And for like Kat and Heath, like when you have like nothing to lose and everything to gain, you're willing to do whatever, right? So they basically like make production of their romance, and to the point where it's like affecting them, because now like you're playing for the cameras, right? So you don't even know like what's real and what's not. I personally think like their relationship could have been fine if they just communicated better. Like they just had to have more open conversations with each other, and I don't understand why they didn't do that. But like obviously like life is not that black and white. People, it's like easy to say that, but communicating is hard, and like actually like understanding where the other person is coming from too. So yeah, like Heath from the start, like he literally masters the Olympic sport just so he can stay with Kat, and like they could be a team together and have like a professional relationship and even like be romantically linked. And so Heath is like, at this point he's like, okay, but what about after this? What about after this? Like when are we going to stop and just be together? And Kat's like, wait, but I'm trying to become like an Olympic gold medalist. She literally wants to be like just like Shelia Lynn, right? And Shelia Lynn is like the legend. Like she's like a 2-time gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist. And like Kat is just like, and it takes so much work. Like to go to the Olympics is crazy, like because you're like the best of the best, right? In the whole like in your whole country, and then eventually in the whole world. And so like I have a newfound appreciation now like for the Olympic Games. Like this is like really, it goes into like how much work like they had to put in, and even like obviously like it's even more than this, right? And like side note, but like the Olympics makes me so emotional. Like I don't know why, like last summer was like the Summer Olympics, and watching like the ads of like the athletes as kids, and they're like dreaming about it, like, and like you can like their parents I guess like send in these like videos of them, and they're training as kids, and they're like trying so hard, and then there's like the voiceover of them talking about it. Like it makes me so emotional. Like it literally brings tears to my eyes, because it's like a Disney movie. Like their dreams came true from like hard work and determination. Like it literally gets me. It gets me so bad. I really liked how it also went into like the flip side of being like a female athlete, because once like Heath and Kat like they get engaged, all everyone is talking about is like her engagement and like her wedding and stuff. And I always see that like anytime like a female or like a girl who's like really good at what she does, especially like in the entertainment industry, like people all just love to talk about like, oh, but when are you gonna get married? Like when are you gonna have kids? And it's so like, okay, but wait, she's literally about to go to the Olympics. She's literally at the Olympics. They're about to like almost become like medalists, and that's all like the interviewer is asking. Like something about that is so demeaning. And I was like, I get why she literally went off on that reporter, because it's like, hello, like you as a girl doing this to another girl, like make it make sense. So literally the whole drama with the Olympic Games, like that huge fight or like the drama that happened, it was all just because of miscommunication. Like it's so important. And I get why Kat was like, she went crazy, rightfully so. Like she literally lost it because he like never told her anything. And like, especially when you're at that level of fame, like you can't be keeping secrets about your past, especially like big ones, and like your like teammate and partner doesn't even know. Like, and that too, like a lot of their brand is their relationship together. So she went crazy, and I don't understand like why did he like hook up with Bella? Like I don't understand why that happened. Like And that too, like, Kat had just been like, she literally just took off her engagement. Okay, maybe that is bad, but she took off her engagement ring and was like, I don't know. I just think like you should never make big decisions when you're very emotionally charged. Like when you're very upset, very sad, like take time to yourself, be alone, like really think it through, because even when somebody else is like not as emotionally mature as you maybe, and they say all these things, like give them time to like cool down and like take it with a grain of salt. Like, okay, they probably don't really mean this. Like that doesn't mean like you should say it. Obviously work on how you act when you're angry. But like Kat had literally like, she kind of processed it and was like, you know what, like Heath and I, like we've always, like we know each other so well, I'm gonna like, she cooled down essentially, and she was going back up to like be like, okay, just talk to me and we can work through this. And then he was with Bella, like, oh my god. And I never liked Bella. Like, I get that they're not friends, like they're both just so hungry for like being champions that it kind of made sense to like be close. But at the same time, like I didn't like Bella. Like she was always kind of like, she kind of was preying on Kat's downfall, essentially. Like, I don't think it's healthy to, like, even try to attempt to be friends with somebody that you're, like, competing with. Especially if you both are, like, not mature enough to, like, deal with it properly with good sportsmanship. Like, it's one thing to have, like, good sportsmanship, but, like, you shouldn't be, like, too much, like, all the time together. Because, like, she purposely did that. And she even says later on that, oh, at first, like, I did that for revenge. Okay. So because of that, like the cheating trope, like, I mean, I guess like they weren't really ended, but at the same time, like it literally was 30 minutes, maybe 2 hours max. Like that was crazy, especially like for Heath. Like Kat is like the one thing that's always like grounded him. Like I don't know, like people do crazy things and they're upset, but still, like because of that, I cannot be a fan of Heath. And again, like it just goes back to like how like toxic the relationship is, because it's not like Kat was like perfect. But the cheating trope, like, gives me such a big ick. Like, I'm sorry. That just, I can never be, like, fully on board with somebody after that. And so after, like, Kat sees that, she goes crazy and, like, she basically, like, quits ice skating, because then she goes to Shelia afterwards and finds out, okay, wait, Shelia is actually the one who sent Heath to Moscow. And then she, like, looks around at Shelia and she's like, you know what? Like, you're this legend, but you are so, like, the life you have is not what I want, because her own kids are, like, not that close to her. She really doesn't have, like, a family in a sense. Like, she doesn't have, and, like, here's the thing, like, some people don't want to be, like, they don't want love or, like, family. Like, they just want to be winners, and that's fine. Like, if that's the kind of person you are, okay. But from Kat, like, she's looking at this as somebody she's always idolized, and she really realizes, wait, I don't want this type of lifestyle. And if that's the kind of lifestyle you need to have to be a winner, to be an Olympic gold medalist, like, I don't want that. And coupled with like Heath betraying her like that with Bella, she like goes back home, and for like 3 years she kind of is just like on her own, like really, you know, I guess working on herself and just processing. And afterwards, like that's when like Shelia's funeral happened, and that's when she reunites with like Heath and Bella, and then they decide like, okay, wait, you're still into ice skating, maybe you guys can give it one last shot, because at this point they're like, she's almost 30 years old, and in ice skating world, like that's like ancient, like you're done. And you know, because the Olympic Games like every 4 years, so basically like Heath and Kat, like they try again. And me, I was like, okay, wait, they have to get the gold, because this is like a story, right? Like I don't know, like I always kind of root for it, but like the whole book is essentially like, what does it mean to be a champion? That's like, you get to decide what that definition is and how you achieve that, right? And so it was just such a good book. Like I loved it. And even if the relationship, like even in the end, I'm kind of like, I guess traditional in the sense that I do like to read an epilogue with like a happily ever after, but obviously I know like that's not real, and most relationships don't end up like that. But with Kat, like she literally ends the book, she's like, oh, did Heath and I ever get married? No. And that I get, like not everyone wants to get married and have kids, but she's like, over the past decade we've been off and on and everything in between. One way or another, Heath, Roka, and I will be in each other's lives until we die, even if we end up killing each other.
What?
That, now tell me if that screams healthy relationship. So I can't be a fan of the romance, but this book is way more than just romance. Like it's literally a story of a winner. Like in my mind, Kat is a winner because she really went through it, and she learned and grew so much. Like the way it was written, like Lane Fargo, like I'm not a 30-year-old, but at the end of this book, I really felt like I can see how Kat has grown. Like she's not just like the 16, like 20, 22-year-old that she was in like the beginning half of the book. Like I could really see her like growth in the end of it, and obviously that's done through the words. So I have to give credit where credit is due. Lane Fargo, you did that. So this book has definitely given me a greater appreciation for Olympic athletes and even people like who don't make it to the Olympics, like even to like get to like nationals or like the world champions, like whatever, all those other competitions they had to do to get to the Olympics. Like it's so much work. And now every time I watch the Olympics, I think the next Winter Olympics is like in 2 years. So I will definitely be remembering this book when watching the ice skating. And ice skating is like so pretty. Like I would love to ice skate. Like I actually, when I was in 4th grade, my class, we took a field trip to like the ice rink, and I don't remember much other than like by the end of like the 2-3 hours we were there, I was finally able to like kind of like stand on my own and like not fall. But it's like hard, and even like rollerblading is hard. Like it's very weird. So like kids who are able to do that, like I'm low-key ashamed. Like wait, how can these kids do it and I can't?